There are currently a lot of Mario games on Switch, and that still doesn't mean we have them all. There's still a handful of classic Mario games and even some franchises that Nintendo hasn't touched yet since the Switch has debuted in 2017, so I want to go through all the past Mario games and even new type of Mario games that we still have not gotten on the Nintendo Switch, and believe it or not, even with everything under our belt, there's still a lot. Real quick before we dive into today's video, a couple things. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. A lot of you watching this video right now are not yet subscribed, so let's see how many people we can get to subscribe from this one single video. You guys are amazing. We're almost at 300,000. Let's try to push that goal. But also, first, today's video is sponsored by Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an awesome website to hit up for quick and instant deals on select digital titles across all the consoles. Yes, you got your Xbox, PlayStation 5, and even Nintendo Switch, where you can get great deals on digital content. You can just click the drop down, choose your console, and find great deals on select digital games and even eShop cards and DLC packs. Whether you're just a fan of Nintendo games or any other platform, you will find some type of deal for you. So feel free to click the link in my description down below in order to go find some deals of your own. And once again, big thanks to Instant Gaming for sponsoring today's video. Now, of course, I will not be talking about the strange Mario games like Hotel Mario, Mario's Time Machine, Mario is Missing, or even Mario Teaches Typing, or Mario Paint. You get my drift. I'm just now seeing Toad from Mario Teaches Typing and like, what is going on? First off, I wanted to start off with Mario 64 DS. Yes, we might have Mario 64 with the Mario 3D All-Stars and of course the, Nintendo 64 online for Switch, but what about Mario 64 for the DS? This game was slightly different. It did include some original boss battles and like a couple original worlds, and it definitely played a little bit different than the original version. Now, some people like it, some people hate it, but this is still a game that I would have loved to see come to the Switch. It's probably never going to happen. It just doesn't feel like a game that needs to happen necessarily, but yeah, it is a Mario 64 game that, is probably going to just stay on the DS for the rest of its life. It's on the Wii U technically as Virtual Console, but yeah. Plus, you get those really cool mini games where like Luigi works at a casino for some reason. But also, I would love to see some of the other new Super Mario Brothers games. I kind of wish Nintendo made like a big pack of all the new Super Mario Brothers games before just giving us, U Deluxe. But yeah, you have new Super Mario Brothers DS, which to me is one of the more unique ones. You have new Super Mario Brothers Wii, and even new Super Mario Brothers 2 from the 3DS. So I really would love to see these other games come to the Switch in some capacity. I doubt this will ever happen though, simply due to the fact that they seem to be moving on and away from new Super Mario Brothers since we got Mario Wonder, but it's still something I would love to see. And something else I would love to see is Super Mario Galaxy 2. How in the world is Mario Galaxy 2 not on the Switch? This is one of the biggest Mario games that for some reason is not currently coming to modern consoles, and Nintendo had the perfect opportunity to do so with Mario 3D All-Stars. It would have been a really good, probably more worthwhile pack having 4 Mario games instead of 3, and especially considering the fact that you have Mario Galaxy 1, but not 2. Why? And it's also weird that this game just feels like it's very underappreciated because Nintendo really doesn't talk about it much, and a lot of people out there actually have not played the game, which is very interesting because to me, it takes everything that's good about Mario Galaxy 1 and just expands on it, and honestly, I think it's better. It has better galaxies, better mechanics, and better worlds, and I just really enjoy this game just as much as the first game, so it's kind of strange to me that Nintendo's just completely forgetting about it. I still think there is a chance sometime in the future that we see this game. All they have to do is just slightly up-res it like they did with the original Super Mario Galaxy, and it'd be good to go. What was the reasoning for them not adding this? Was it a price thing? Is it because they have a plan with it for something else? Are they going to make like a Mario Galaxy 2 remake or something, and it's going to have more galaxies or something in it? It's hard to say, but Nintendo, they like money, so I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo did something like that. Now, we know Alpha Dream went bankrupt, and we don't know if we're ever going to see another Mario & Luigi game, which is incredibly sad to me, but at the same time, if that is the case and ends up being the truth, what if Nintendo just came together and took all of the Mario and Luigi games and put them in one giant collection pack for the Switch? That would make me so happy, and I don't care how expensive it is, I definitely would pay for it, and maybe just new control schemes for any of the games that use gyro, or obviously the touchscreen with the stylus. I know they remade Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story, so I wouldn't complain if they did the others as well, like Partners in Time, and obviously Dream Team and Paper Jam even. It'd be really cool to see those games with new play controls, because, for instance, Dream Team's gyro controls are absolutely abysmal, and I hate using the stylus for like the big battles, so, just using regular buttons and kind of changing how they work and just putting them on one big collection pack on the Switch would make me very happy. Or Nintendo could just give us a brand new Mario & Luigi game. I'd be completely fine with that too. We're definitely missing a Mario & Luigi game in the modern times, so I don't know if it's ever going to happen again. What's going on with Alpha Dream? If Nintendo's going to take the project, in-house, who knows? But only time will tell, and we're just going to have to wait and see. Now, you could also do this with Paper Mario, because we are having Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door come out this year, which is still amazing. And we have Paper Mario Origami King, and we even have the original Paper Mario 64 on Nintendo Switch Online. So we're still missing a couple, though. Super Paper Mario from the Wii would be absolutely amazing. I know it's completely different than any Paper Mario in the series. It's more of a 2D adventure platformer than an RPG, but it's still a game that a lot of people hold near and dear to them, and the story is magnificent. So I would also I don't know if I would actually want this, but for people out there that have not played Color Splash on the Wii U or even Sticker Star on a 3DS, maybe some type of option to play those two. They could call them the Trash Collection Pack. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be mean. But since they are very similar, I would love to see them be in a pack of their own. But also, Mario Baseball. Where in the world is Mario Baseball? We've gotten like all the sports besides Mario Baseball so far. And Mario Baseball to me is one of the more fun ones because there's a giant roster of characters, tons of unique baseball diamonds and mini games and stuff. But at the same time, do I want Nintendo to work on this? I don't know, because the current state of the Mario sports games seem to be very lazy with unfinished games being releasing, and then they had to add content later on in free DLC, they call it. So I'm hoping that they do Mario Baseball right. I do think it could be coming soon. It might be one of the first sports games of the new console, who knows? But I hope it's not just a field full of Koopa Troopas and, Goombas. And then, of course, Boom Boom being the catcher at all times. I hope it's more customizable like Super Sluggers, and there's lots of fun characters to play as. Next up, we have Mario 3D Land. Mario 3D Land is a game that a lot of people also forget about because it was like the predecessor to Mario 3D World, but on the 3DS. It's a very small, linear 3D Mario game on the 3DS, very short as well, but it's something that also could have been thrown into Mario 3D All-Stars, honestly. It's an incredibly small game. They didn't have to do a whole bunch with the graphics, just slightly up-res it. But yeah, I really would love to see Mario 3D Land again because for a lot of people, it's one of their first 3D experiences, especially for the 3DS. It was a weird 3D Mario game for the 3DS. Like, how many times are you going to get that? So yeah, I would love to see that game come back. I think it does get a lot of hate when it shouldn't because it does a lot of things right, and some of the levels are really unique. So yeah, bring Mario 3D Land back. Now we can introduce a couple like the spin-off Mario games. I think Luigi's Mansion still counts. Yes, Luigi's Mansion 1. We're getting 2. We have 3. Where's Luigi's Mansion 1? They brought it to the 3DS for some reason, like at the beginning of the Switch life cycle, and a lot of people were confused. Why didn't this just come to the Switch? It would have made a lot of sense, and a lot of people would have loved to see a full HD version of the original game. And it still hurts my heart that they just put it on a 3DS. I would have loved to see the original version in its creepy-esque, manner in a big, full HD Switch title. So I hope there's still a chance that maybe this game could come again, maybe in the future, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Next up, we have Super Princess Peach. Princess Peach is getting her own game with Showtime, but Super Princess Peach was actually Peach's first game, if you didn't know, on the DS, which was a 2D platformer. So yeah, you just go around. It was more of a puzzle platformer, as you could change Peach's emotions, believe it or not, in order to find hidden toads and collectibles and make your way to the end of the stage. And yeah, she had to fight Bowser in order to save Toad, Luigi, and Mario. So it's something that I actually would love to see return because a lot of people don't even know about this game. So maybe one day we can see it in some capacity. Next up, we have Mario Pinball Land, another very obscure Mario game that came out on the Game Boy Advance, where Mario turns into a pinball. Yeah, and you actually go through themed Mario worlds that are themed pinball boards, and you bounce Mario around, hitting enemies, even fighting bosses and finding collectibles. It's actually a lot of fun, and I actually would think this game could have a chance to come back, considering the fact that they just brought back Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Game Boy Advance. They could end up remaking Mario Pinball Land in a small remake, adding some worlds and enemies and bosses, and I think a lot of people would want to try this out the same exact way they did with Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Next up, we don't have any type of Yoshi's Island on the Switch. Yes, we have Yoshi's Crafted World, but I would love a Yoshi's Island game. Or maybe just bring back some of the classics, or like Yoshi's New Island. Never mind, don't bring back Yoshi's New Island. That's the last one we've gotten, and to me, it's one of the worst games I've played in a long time because it just felt too much like the original, but in a horrible, worse version with terrible music. I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of that game. But maybe something like a 3D Yoshi's Island on the next Switch or something would be really cool. But I would have loved to see some type of Yoshi's Island variant, or maybe just like a remade version of the original, just better graphics, and it just kept its difficulty and its great level design and music. That would have been really cool. Now, we do have Dr. Mario in like the Switch Online games, but we don't have anything like in terms of a new Dr. Mario or even Dr. Luigi. That would have been something something really cool to have on Switch Online as like a free-to-play battle royale type of thing like they did with Tetris, but with Dr. Mario. So I don't know, maybe a future Dr. Luigi or another Dr. Mario game like they did with Dr. Mario World on the, you know, mobile side of things, and then they just got rid of it. I would love to see something like that on Switch. And Mario Dance Dance Revolution. Oh boy. Where do I go with this? Okay, I loved this game as a kid. I loved dancing to all these, you know, popular Mario songs and other random songs for some reason throughout these various Mario worlds where you'll battle bosses and just go up against familiar faces. It kind of makes me sad that this game will probably never be seen again because then they would have to sell like dance mats with it and everything. So yeah, probably not going to happen unless they have you dance with the Joy-Con, which I can already see be finicky. It just wouldn't be the same. But I would love to see Mario Dance make a return in some capacity. But yeah, whether it's with the Joy-Con or with something else, please give us Mario Dance again. That's just such an iconic game. But we also have Mario Hoops 3-on-3. This is another Mario sports game that we really haven't gotten, is Mario Basketball. This was a full-fledged, really the only full-fledged Mario basketball game we've ever gotten, and it was able to add some Square Enix characters, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I just love Mario Basketball. I think it's something that we should see in another full-fledged game again. Yes, we got it in like Sports Mix, which I'll talk about in a second, but I want to see a full-fledged Mario basketball game built from the ground up. I think that's something like amongst one of my, you know, most wanted list right now for Mario games. I'd say like Mario Football, a Mario Baseball game again, and of course Mario Basketball. So maybe there's a chance we'll get that since we've gotten all the other sports already on the Switch. It's time for some new stuff. Now, I did want to add this, although I'm not a big fan of the Sports Mix games because I feel like they take a really fun sport and dumb it down just for the sake of having more sports in that game. I'd rather them just focus on one single sport at a time. But yeah, we don't have anything like Mario Sports Mix or Mario Sports All-Stars or anything like that because it's missing some also smaller sports that are in there like dodgeball, basketball, hockey, volleyball, and even horseback riding. So there are some sports that are not going to ever get touched probably because they're never going to be in a sports mix. But yeah, maybe Nintendo's working on another sports mix game or something along those lines. I actually hope not. I'd rather them just, like I said, focus on those individual sports, but I just thought I'd bring it up. I know this isn't technically Mario, but what about a new Wario Land game? Yeah, it's been a very long time since Wario Land Shake It on the Wii. We are definitely due for another Wario Land game, which are some fun 2D platformers for sure, where you have to beat the stage going forward and sometimes beat it going backwards. And there's also weird, goofy things that happen to Wario within the stage sometimes, where he can get hit by enemies and blow up like a balloon or turn into like a spring or something. It's just a wacky 2D Mario game is pretty much what it is. And I would love to see another Wario Land game. It's been too long. It's definitely time. You have two other games that I'm not super familiar with, but I remember hearing about them and seeing them, and they're not really like main Mario games, but yeah, you have Fortune Street, which is like a Dragon Quest party game with Mario characters included. Yeah, I don't really know much about it. I know there's boards, there's not really any mini games or anything like that. It's just like a big board game that you can play. Based off what I was able to gather from it, it's just like one big Dragon Quest Monopoly game with Mario characters included. So yeah, I mean, that's something that they could bring back in a capacity, or maybe just like a different form of Fortune Street or something with just Nintendo characters could be pretty cool. Same thing with Puzzles and Dragons plus the Super Mario Brothers Edition, which is just a puzzle game with Mario characters. It's something that probably would have done really well too if it was a mobile game for Nintendo, but it never did do that, unfortunately. So yeah, maybe something like this, a smaller capacity, could come to the Switch, or maybe like even a free eShop title like this would be great. But yeah, we'll see if that ever happens. Probably not. So as we sit and wait for the next 3D Mario game, or whatever the next future of Mario games are gonna be, we can just sit and think about some of those classic Mario games that still have a chance to appear on the Nintendo Switch if Nintendo wanted them to. But let me know if I missed any classic Mario game or any other Mario game that isn't on the Switch currently, and let me know down below what they are and describe them. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.